So now moving on to the next session. The agenda for this session is a future of security, and second is emerging tech, digitization and innovation research. So the panelist for this session is Sanathan Subramani, Cybersecurity Leader, TCS. I would request all the panelists to please come over the stage. Second is Jitendra Tripathi, Head Cybersecurity Operation. A.K. Patel, CISO and GM, IT Communication, NTPC. Mr. Dhananjay, SBI Card, CISO.
Yeah, thank you. So, good afternoon, post-lunch. I hope you had some tea. We have eminent industry leaders, CISOs here, and the topic is also very interesting. It's like we know security, we are doing a lot of it. What does it take to innovate? What does it take to sell? What does it make to be the industry leader of products and services in cybersecurity when we are all based in India? What are the needs of Indian industry? What innovations are they looking for? What does it take to sell to these eminent enterprises looking to lead the world? So these are very interesting questions. How do you get funding? What does it take to qualify to be selected? And what are the different industrial nuances that are playing in this very complex ecosystem? So I am Shanta Subramani. I used to head cybersecurity unit for TCS and then moving on to internal cybersecurity. We have eminent CISOs from here, from SBI Card, Mr. Dhananjay, from NTPC, Mr. Akshay, and from Geo, Jitendra. So all of them from very diverse industries, telco, financial services, and power, with very unique needs, but all of them needing security as well. So having said that, I would like to address the first question to all of the panelists, which is that from your own unique industry view, what is your near-term and longer-term wish list in terms of, because really want to call out what are the specific nuances and your immediate priorities, so to speak. So if I may please ask Mr. Jitendra to start off the conversation.
Yeah, hi, good afternoon, everyone. See, before I come to that, what is the wish list? There are a couple of things which I would like to bring out, which has actually impacted the telecom industry and also the related fields in the last couple of years. First thing is the rolling out of the 5G, you all know. And the other is the generative AI. Now, what has happened is, with the 5G being there, the IoT devices, there is a proliferation of IoT devices which is being seen, and connected IoT devices. The 5G brings along with it the high bandwidth capacity, ultra low latency services. Because of that, the OT devices, the legacy OT devices which were earlier not connected, now they are getting connected to the networks. And these devices were actually made to operate in an environment which was supposed to be secure because of the air gap which existed. But with the connectivity coming, and we know the way internet is, it is a case of assumed breach. You think that everything is insecure and you have to secure everything. So the challenge which is there is that you are trying to put certain things which are not secure and connecting them. The other thing what is happening is because of the high bandwidth availability, the content delivery is now happening over the networks. So the the concept of having the data center and a perimeter around that is actually is fading out. Your data center is actually getting federated. It is going towards the edge. Now with these two things coming, what we would like to, the wish list would be that how to secure these devices which are there at the edge, the IoT devices, the legacy OT devices, uh, and the way forward would be probably the zero trust. That is, do not trust anything. You assume that everything which is connecting to you is not trusted. Verify everything. That is probably what I would expect.
Thank you so much. So every industry has its unique perspective on what they think are their biggest problem areas. And I would call upon Akshay to talk about power. Power industry is something which is there everywhere, but we don't yet know what is it the life they lead from a security perspective and what is their highest priorities. So
Yeah, I am from NTPC, actually power sector. This is critical sector because power for security is under everything. Like power is most critical in terms of, if you see NCIPC, that is National Critical Information Infrastructure Center, they, as per that, power is the most important sector to protect, because once power is breached, that means all other sectors are dependent on this. So innovation, I will say security is most important in this. But in contrast to other sectors like transmission or distribution and all these things, power generation basically are plants which are static plants, which require protection from in and around. Plus the visibility and that thing, innovation we require will be digitalization. In this power sector is going through many digitalization and innovative products. Like in NTPC itself, we are going to digital twin sort of thing, digital twin, advanced this thing, parameter reconciliation. That means you get parameters from across the plants and analyze and see the improvement. All these things are very, very innovative products, which also require many IoT devices. So all those IoT devices need to be protected, and in this also supported by government initiative that critical sectors have to be more or less dependent on Indian products and services. So that is also one innovativeness we are to bring for this sector. So what our priority is to get Indian products or Indian services for this type of requirements, which is now a high-tech job. Specifically, any plant, or for that matter, any power plant or manufacturing plant, they will be getting. So our main aim or priority wish list is to have some sort of innovativeness inside some manufacturers, startups, all those things who can give products and services, Indian products and services, who can customize it as per our requirement. Thank you.
thank you so much. So a very different business, card business, large number of consumers, large number of regulation. What drives your priorities?
Hello. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. So, very good afternoon, and this is Dhananjay. I am from SBI Cards. While I am working with SBI Cards, but here the views what we are sharing is nothing to do with SBI Card. It's my personal views to start with. When we comes to, I would say, what is our wish list or what priority, I think all of us, and I think regardless of the sector, I think the silver bullet is the wish list, that we get a silver bullet which solves all our problem. But unfortunately, we don't have a silver bullet. So some of the things or some of the priorities or things which we are expecting in near future I would say in midterm is one is how to do prioritization in vulnerability actually. So in the vulnerability management, traditional way how everybody does is they find vulnerabilities and they just try and mitigate those or remediate those vulnerabilities. But the number of vulnerabilities which are coming for last couple of years, it's absolutely impossible to remediate everything. So how to prioritize? Because every vulnerability and same vulnerability on two different systems have to be treated differently if the importance of systems are different. Their positioning is different. So how to do that actually and do it in an automated manner. I think that's something which is a wish list. Another is how to respond to an incident faster. So how to do more automation or get a system which can respond very, very fast actually, because again, not having incident is good, but you will never have incident. That's something which will never happen actually. That's the ideal world. So whenever it happens, how to respond it very, very fast. I think that's something is another wish list in this area, that how to respond to a incident faster.
Thank you so much. So all of you have talked about very real, very pressing, clear and present problems that you need solved. But the world is buzzing with innovations around converged identity, digital trust, blockchain, of course AI. I will not mention AI. Everybody is talking AI, okay? And privacy, regulation. How do you see, which one of these innovations excites you, you think will most correlate to what you think will be the world of the future, or the world that you want in your own ecosystems of security? Very variety of needs you have stated. One is around 5G and the areas that can come in. For you, it is all about endpoints in OT and physical, cyber-physical ecosystems, and whereas for you, it is about software-defined, and automated handling of security processes and security actions. So if I may again address, say first to you, Akshay, what innovations will excite you most, and where do you see these new areas to be adopted in your own businesses?
See, there are two parts of our industry, like IT and OT. Both have, actually, even if they are from same organization or of same organization, their pressing needs are completely different. Now in IT, certainly this innovative AI, ML is talk of the town. This blockchain, of course, you are not much using it, but this security, this AI in security, that products, those we are evaluating, and probably we have taken some products with AI-enabled thing. And in our organizations also, we are, for our internal use, we have created an AI chatbot, which actually solves day-to-day problem of each employee. Like they can ask any question for internal thing, how to get this, how to open this website, or how to claim this some sort of reimbursement or something like that. Everything, those sort of things are being done, and we are in touch with academia. Like IIT Kanpur is one of our partner in OT security innovativeness. Now they are actually partnering, we have partnered with them to have certain solutions to which we can use as our in our use for security, for OT security. In IT, there are many innovations, but this DPDP Act and all will require some sort of new set of requirement, probably new set of data, new set of processes we need to look into. Now, all said and done, the basic parameters in security, you have to see there are things basic necessity and something like what we are expecting, it will be good. So that basic necessity probably we are now already being fulfilling, but this thing, this analytics and all, because this will also, it not only security in our operational also, this innovativeness will help us improve our performance and probably your profitability is impact profitability, your efficiency and resilience also. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So when it comes to current innovation, I think the maximum changes and rapid expansion is happening in telco. India has one of the largest digital footprints. India has one of the largest data consumption, OTT platform consumption, data through the info pipeline consumption. In that kind of a highly competitive ecosystem, apart from the fundamentals which you stated, there must be a lot of innovations that you're keen to adopt. So what those may be?
Well, first definitely is AI, so I'll not talk about it because I'm sure a lot of discussion would have happened. But
Maybe they want to listen to that as well.
yeah, I'll come to that later on. See, what I see that in very near future we will have to see development and research happening in India also as far as quantum is concerned, right? So quantum technology is not, quantum computers are not very far off. Only, I think yesterday or day before I was reading the US and China, they are, actively gathering the present data, encrypted data, keep it so that when their quantum computers are ready, they are able to crack the present codes. Just for those who are aware, it is all right. Others, quantum is basically these computers are many, many times faster than what the present computers are. So the present crypto systems which are there, for example, your PKI systems, which we assume are safe, once the quantum computers are in place, these are going to be redundant, they'll become deprecated. So there has to be a research. So in view of the quantum technology, there has to be a research in the field of cryptology for post-quantum crypto. That means even if that fast computers are available, see present, this PKI is primarily what? It is a math of prime numbers, right? So we have to come out with something which the quantum computers are also not able to crack. So that post-quantum crypto, that research has to happen in that direction. And the second thing is that quantum itself, the quantum technology itself can facilitate safe hacker-proof networks. There is a concept of quantum entanglement. That means the subatomic particle, if it changes at one place, the change can be visible at the other place. And in case it gets interfered with, the network will break. So this kind of technology, obviously, the startups cannot do on their own. There has to be support from the government, there has to be support from the academia, there has to be support from, it has to be a structured environment where this kind of research can happen. So I would expect that we should start looking towards quantum technology for research purpose.
Thank you so much. When it comes to adoption trends and ideas that excite you, you made an interesting statement in our earlier sync up that ecosystem drives your consumption patterns. It will be nice to hear what are the areas of innovation that you find most exciting, most beneficial to your line of business?
Sure. So as I think my co-panelist said, that AI certainly is promising and it's coming. And one thing which we look forward to AI is how to reduce the alert fatigue, because we all are maintaining very big systems, very big networks, environments. and the kind of alerts gets generated in our environments are huge, and which is not humanly possible. Not in nowadays, it is not even possible with the traditional systems like SIMs and all that. I think they are also like go on the days when SIM correlations were good enough to take care of getting the interested alerts or getting incidents and all that. So AI absolutely for those kind of getting out of the alert fatigue and getting the interested alerts or incidents only, which can be investigated further. So I think that's something which obviously excites, which is an exciting area, and I think a lot has to be done in that area. Apart from it, visibility, absolutely, I think the more visibility we create within our environment, it will certainly help us secure it better, actually. So, and I would say digital trust or converged identity. So all of these are very, very pertinent and relevant things which excites, but the most is how to reduce alert fatigue and how to create more visibility. I think these are the two areas which are, I would say, focus areas for people like us who have the responsibility of securing the environment, actually.
We'll continue on that track. So if there are a lot of products, while you look at your businesses, there are a lot of software ecosystems and software products that you adopt. You are continuously on the mode of looking for the next best technology, next cost-efficient technology for yourselves. If you have an ask to the entrepreneurs in the room who are India-based, who are looking at making sure their products are useful to your businesses, what are those 3-4 things that you would ask of them? Because they are competing with the global stage, global funding, global research, and global excellence. But I want to really understand what would it take for our own startups and our own product ecosystem to serve your business as well?
I would say, if I take this, one is innovation. That's number one. The other is getting some kind of a common criteria certification or some kind of certification or a standardization, basically, because where we see a lot of products coming, but when we start one, we cannot put any and all product in our production environment. Okay, so how to rely on a new product or how to rely on something which is like a startup who has come up with a product, how to take that to the production environment, we need certain, I would say, assurances, basically. So how to get that assurance, actually, and that in previous years, it used to be a common criteria lab certification, that you get your product certified by common criteria and you can be assured that it will do what it is supposed to do, and it will not have any backdoor, or it will not have any code which will hurt the organization. So something similar I think we should develop in the country to kind of encourage our entrepreneurs or our startups to build products and get that thing certified, I think. So those will be certainly will be helpful to kind of start some, and I would say industry collaboration is absolutely important for a build. So maybe picking up and having a collaboration with the startup or with the entrepreneur to kind of create a product, actually, with some industry organizations, where organization also contribute positively towards the development of the product. I think these are some of the things which should be there, actually.
Thank you so much. So in the power industry, highly regulated, you have a lot of boundaries and highly super critical for the country. How does that play out, the whole fostering Make in India kind of a approach?
Ours is one public sector, and specifically for public sector and government, these things are, it is actually Make in India clause, you may all be aware, there is a Make in India clause. Without Make in India, at least now as per present trend, at least 20% has to be in that product or services, otherwise you cannot just buy it. That means if I have to buy a product today as a PSU or government body, unless that product has 20%, at least 20%, that is class 2. For class 1, it has to have preference for 50%. Now, I cannot buy a product unless it has at least 20% in it. So, that means mandatorily it is in one way encouraging for Indian entrepreneurship and Indian products. Now, there are many good Indian products, many good Indian services, and they are also up to mark. There are good products also. Only thing where they need to come up with is some sort of standard certification, my co-panelist said, like common criteria certification or some sort of standard certification which are the benchmark of today's quality and the satisfaction that yes, this follows a certain standard. That is the differentiator. If you say any product must have a differentiator. Whenever we are taking, let's say, one router, we are taking one firewall or one SIM or anything, there must be a differentiator. Now, when we say any brand, why we take that? Either it has to be good features, it may be cheaper, it may have good support, or it might have specific USPs. Now, we must differentiate our products. You must have some sort of good certification which will say that this product is certified, and that will help because cost-wise they can always be competitive from imported products. Let me assure that they will always be competitive because Make in India product will be superior, because that will help industry like us for customization, because imported products doesn't allow customizations. They do not do it. But Indian product, we have seen, whatever we have used, they are very open to development and they use customization. They help customize. That means they are very, because everything is Indian. They know Indian psyche. Imported product is not made for India. Yes, we are using it, but not made for India. Indian product made for India will be a great thing. And government is also supporting this. So I feel that is the way to go, and the way industries are responding are very encouraging. I see probably this 20%, 50% in 3 or 4 years time. I see it as 40% and 60% type of thing. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Coming to you, being in an industry that is extremely driven by a large customer base, but also have a very large, widespread hardware assets spread across. So the expectation that all of those components will be in India would be somewhat difficult to achieve. So when you look at adopting software for your own enterprises, I'm sure there is a fine balance. So how do you make sure that you give some kind of an advantage? What do you think can be the possibilities of giving some kind of an advantage to India-based software ecosystems and product ecosystems?
Yes, see, I will look at it from the usability perspective. You know, the products which are there, we keep evaluating a lot of products. They do a lot of things and they do it very well. However, there is some unique requirement which I have, and the product is not able to do it. So in case a startup can give me a product which is customizable to the extent that it meets my requirement, or the startup is able to work with us. A simple example I'll give you, like there are a lot of SOAR products in the market. You know, this is a buzzword. You have the same, now it is the SOAR. SOAR is the automated response. Security orchestration and automated response. But telco and the hosting platform, our environment being so huge, the kind of logs which get generated and the kind of alerts which get generated, there are too many false positives. And the security analyst has to actually, in spite of all the efforts, he has to do a manual effort to see as to what is an actual incident and which all are false positives. Now, unless I am able to identify an incident as a true positive, I cannot have an automated response, right? So when we go down to evaluating a product, they will tell us, okay, this product can do this kind of response, it can send this it can go and block the firewall, it can send an email, but that trigger can happen only when the alert is a true positive. Now that is where, in case you can bring in AI, if the AI, I mean, that is my requirement. In case your product doesn't support that, you should be able to customize, get in something else, integrate it, and get it to an extent that it meets the requirement. I think that's what, and being, since it is a startup, the product, you are developing it right from the stack upwards, you have got full control over it. I'm sure, given the right understanding as to what the customer requires, the startups, the Indian startups can very well do it.
Thank you so much. So flexibility, there's no doubt on the capability of the product, but it would be good to have standardized approach to have an assurance on the capability of the product. But flexibility and fitment into Indian context is most important, especially scale and obviously the feature sets, right? Coming to the fact that each of these require deep understanding of engineering, really high-end qualifications to build these systems for large enterprises. And India has one of the richest academia and engineering population. Okay? What is the collaboration ecosystem that can be built with academia, with the government, with the startups, when we make fitment of these into Indian context and Indian enterprises to be a primary purpose? What do you think are the possibilities? What is happening? What are your views? Probably I'll start with you, Jiten.
Yeah, see, that's what I had covered earlier, that there has to be an ecosystem where the government and the academia, they come together, and some kind of platform is created where people can reach out and a support, help can be provided. Not that it is not happening. It is already happening. For example, I saw a stall there of the government of Telangana, where they are doing something in that kind of a field. So the initiatives are there by various agencies. I think we need to give a little bit of publicity to that. And wherever it is lacking, we can take inputs from the startups and create an ecosystem where the government, the large players in the industry, and the academia can come together and create, and obviously the funding, etc., has to be brought in so that there is a good startup ecosystem and these small businesses can flourish.
Thank you so much. In a public sector, how does that pan out? I mean, yeah.
Government has specific impetus for startups, like they are given some sort of exemption when it comes to normal procurement cases also. Government supports that for startups, there are some exemptions. And this academia, yes, for us we can say academics, we are partnering with academics to get technology from their end and experience from our end. Like for security, OT security specifically, because that is specific requirement, what actually the OT security, what sort of product we are using in power sector, these are unique. So we are partnering with academia to build product for our requirement, so that that can be once that product developed, probably they can market it as well. Now, these startups, whenever even currently we have awarded one product for some surveillance, package of security surveillance and all these things, which is a startup. Now, they are customizing their product, some sort of product for our use. So, once that is through, it will be for our use if the product is customized up to our requirement meets. So probably it will meet most of the power sector, at least I can say generation sector requirement. So that, and that adding something Indian contextually to Indian context, and that can be usable for Indian products. Now that way they also build up their references point, yes, we have supplied this to this industry, that way step by step they also go up. So there, if that startup is doing good, they will certainly prosper. There is enough ecosystem now, government impetus is there, and things are looking very bright, because I think with this government intervention, things are going to go up.
In your sphere of influence, how do you foster? What are the areas in which you have fostered such a collaboration and co-creation of homegrown, innovative, yeah?
So I think when it comes to academia or partnership with academia, or so in my opinion, actually it's absolutely important, because while coming to such a conference, you find that, hey, so many people, so many guys working in this kind of in this critical area of cybersecurity, information security. But when you go and look for people outside for something, you find that there is a need of talent. Actually, there is a shortage of talent. So collaborating with academia or going to academia and looking and guiding them what kind of course curriculums they should have, what kind of people, what kind of things they should teach, or the students should learn, so that they become industry ready actually when they come out of their colleges or their engineering courses, etc. I think that's absolutely very, very important. Some of the collaboration like the Cyber Siksha, what DSCI is running, I think that is doing a lot of good work actually. I have heard and I have seen a lot of good things happening there, where even in the first month of induction only, they are getting picked by the industry. Industry is taking them hand in hand actually. So those are some things which are good happening in the industry. In the past, we have done a few visits to few of the universities along with DSCI. I was part of those initiatives where we went to the universities, spoke with, encouraged people to, or those students to take entrepreneurship, develop some product, or come up with a startup in the services industry, etc., etc. So I think initiatives are happening, in my opinion. There are industry bodies like DSCI who are taking them, but these needs to be encouraged more actually. More has to happen, because we are really in need of good talent in the industry, there is a shortage of good talent actually. Talent is there, but good talent, and that will, I would say, collaborating with the industry, that talent can be converted into good talent by giving them insight, giving them more inputs on what they need to learn or how to develop into a good security or cyber professional actually.
Thank you so much. So there is a lot of areas in which there can be public, private sector and academia collaboration. Obviously, we do have research needs in post-quantum. We have research needs in automation. And we have areas where if we can have a multiplier effect on talent development, and also on making products flexible and relevant to Indian context. And there is a lot of positivity in the fact that such measures are being fostered by the academia, by the government, and the businesses are looking to partner. So I think maybe forums like DSCI are places where these 3-4 things are coming together. If I have to have a submission, probably in this kind of an ecosystem, we should bring in academia also to interact with the businesses and the innovative ecosystems that is out here. Probably that is something as a positive takeaway. I think with this, I thank you all, and I would like to open the forum for questions. There are questions. Thank you so much. Please do introduce yourself and ask your questions.
Hello, sir. Good evening. My name is Ankit, and I am from Pinaka Technologies Group of Companies, Chennai. So my question is, we have 2G, 3G, 4G network, right? Now the 5G is rolled out. So after this innovation, what are the modifications that has to be implemented in your network and the network security, so that you can, like go ahead with your security of your network without any kind of delay and, like problems after especially this rollout of 5G communication technology?
So you are primarily asking about the security of the network.
Yeah, so there are two questions. Whatever the network that you are using, what has to be modified in this? And the second question is about the network security. Then what has to be modified in the network security to like protect it?
See, I'll tell you, as far as 5G is concerned, it is rolled out in two manners. One is a green field where it is totally 5G, right? And the other is where the 5G works along with the existing networks, right? So there is always a handover from one to the other. It is not that the earlier networks are not safe, secure. They are secure, right? 5G also in itself is secure, but there is a difference. 5G is actually primarily built on a software stack, right? So that security has been done in a different manner. So even before the rollout has happened, the security is already in place. There is no change which you need to do in the existing network. The existing network remains, and the new network which is getting rolled out, it comes with its own security. What I was talking about is security of the end user devices which are getting connected, and more so of the IoTs. Because IoTs, the way they are coming, for example, a smart city is there, right? In case it is connected, you have got multiple municipal services which are there, which are connected. The traffic system, your electricity, your water, whatever systems are connected. Now, those securities have to build in. That is actually outside the core infrastructure, outside the infrastructure of the telecom network. As far as the telco network is concerned, it is secure. It cannot get rolled out unless the security is built in. By the way, Jio has got its own 5G stack, right, which has been built totally in-house. And security has been built in by design. What we talk about, security should be built in by design. So it is already there. The product has come with security. You don't have to fix it.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Is there any other question? Yes.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Darshan from Infosys. So my question is, like when we are talking about emerging threats or innovation, so one of the trend which we are seeing as cyber resilience, right? Because everyone has understood that protection, prevention, detection are not good enough. How do we recover in case of any attack happen, any ransomware attack happen, or any such kind of a scenario where you want to recover your crown jewels? So what are sort of your thoughts and strategies around that in your organizations? Thank you.
Sure. So, in our opinion, or what we talk about when we talk about cyber resilience is how, as you rightly said, how to recover it fast, actually. So have those playbooks, basically, when an incident happens, how to act on it or how to prepare for it, and what will be the quickest way to recover from an incident. I think that's what the resilience is all about. And when we talk about resilience, so for each of the incident, what will be the scenario, what can be the impact, and look at the worst case scenario. What will be the worst case scenario? So even if it is a ransomware attack, those passes, what will be if it is only a few machines gets impacted, I think the recovery would be much faster. May not require that big kind of a thing. But if the BCP DR both gets impacted, even if your backup tapes get infected, so what could be the scenario if the data exfiltration has happened before the ransomware attack has happened, or as part of the ransomware, then what needs to be done? So those kind of things, and then look for those technologies or those solutions which can help recover very, very fast. I think those are the key for resilience for our organization. And obviously, keep in mind the RTO, RPOs actually, that what is the RTO we are talking about for at the time for the resilience also actually.
And actually this critical sector, power being critical sector, actually in OT, specifically resilience is more important for OT rather than IT, because in OT there are very clear business continuity plans, and there are always second and third level of redundancy, and if this, then what? All type of contingency measures are there. Everything, for that matter, each and every contingency is properly planned. It may be physical security, it may be operational security, it may be cyber security. For all possible contingency, there are business continuity plans and well thought out plans, and regular mock drills and audits for that matter are done. So that is the basic things.
So the OT security, so there are legacy systems, and in current scenarios, we see even the basic cyber hygiene is not there. Like systems are not patched, or even there are Windows 98, XP, etc., and not having a basic anti-malware and all. So are we I just want to know the ground situation that where when we do not have that cyber hygiene, then do we have those cyber resiliency strategies for OT environment in place or not?
Okay. Now, how this is taken? See, there are dependencies, OEM dependency, because OT systems general life cycle is not less than 15 years. 15, 20, 25 years. Now, there will be some legacy systems because of OEM dependency. There will be some OEM dependency. Then how it is tackled? You have to see if there is Windows XP machine. You put mitigation measures, and there are n number of mitigation measures. What to, like I'll tell one thing. You put some antivirus, put the OS to the extent possible. See, you may not get today's vulnerability. Put all ports blocked, only one port allowed. Put it on surveillance, more surveillance than the peers. Those are good machines. So all those type of mitigation measures are there, because when you know you have diabetes, you must carry some sugar with you in case your diabetes comes below. Now all these mitigation, you cannot hide the fact that you have no diabetes. But then you have to take mitigation measures. That's what it is done.
Yeah, just to amplify that, resilience in itself, what does that mean? That means that you should be able to withstand any kind of attack, and if at all if it happens, you should be able to quickly recover and continue working, right? So in case the legacy systems are there, as it was explained, that they are not patched, what else do you do? So you have to have systems in place that even if you get attacked, or one system goes down, there should be something else, right? There should be a standby, or this network itself, if you feel that it is not secure enough, have it isolated. Just to give a point, we are all aware of that Stuxnet worm, right? It was a very versatile worm, right? It attacked the Windows system, then the Siemens systems, and then the PLC, right? But it still had to traverse that air gap. It had to traverse the air gap. It was primarily targeted towards the Iranian centrifuges, right? But what was the protection? That system was air gap. It had to be delivered through USB drives. Now I'm not saying that today such networks are connected to the network, but if you feel that if there is a power system, power network which is not secure enough to be brought on the network, don't get it on the network. You don't have to. Or put some kind of firewalls in the say that you are not able to, in case it gets attacked, there is no lateral movement possible on the other side, or the other way around. So this is how you bring in resilience. So we have to have that, understand that subtle difference between security and resilience. The attacks will happen, but we have to have systems in place that we are still able to do our critical processes and businesses.
Thank you so much. I think you wanted to ask something, so.
We'll take it off.
So I'm Kapil. One question for Dhananjay. Earlier, this fraud detection and response in the card domain was more or less matured. Companies are able to detect, and people used to get a card used to get blocked, or people. But with this, now the rupee cards coming and the UPI gateway opening on the card domain, which is kind of a lateral pipeline which is opening. How is the threat landscape and the this card fraud detection is emerging?
Okay, so from the fraud detection point of view, there is no difference, because as a card issuer, or as a from the transaction authorization point of view, the system remains same. The fraud detection engine also remains the same. So whatever detection was happening when the card was getting swapped on a POS machine or on the online platform, the same detection happens whether we are doing a UPI transaction on the card. So there is no difference. There are additional, I would say, checks which are there, like and the NPCI, and also they also do fraud detection actually. So this is over and above what a card issuer like SBI card does actually. So from a fraud detection at the SBI card end, there is no difference actually.
Thank you so much. Big red time's up has come over there, so I have to stop. So thank you all panelists. It was very interesting, such diverse views. Thank you audience for listening to us. So I think this will conclude the panel for today.
So I would like to thank all our distinguished panelists from across sectors. Essentially, we have panelists from the services, we have panelists from consumer, we have panelists from critical infrastructure and financial BFSI sector. So I want to thank Ms. Santa for driving the discussion, and I would like to give a small token of appreciation from the DSCI side, and then we'll click a quick photograph after that. Thanks.